Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Indah Hikma with my official number A1M218011. In this occasion, I will present the journal entitled The Correlation Between English Grammar Competence and Speaking Fluency by Siska Anissa Kusmawardani and Indah Mardiayani Sector College of IKIP Siliwangi in the year 2018. And the first chapter is background of the study. English is an important language for communication. With language, we can share information. In globalization era, we have to measure the English language. To master English, we have to strengthen listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And the most needed nowadays is speaking English. Speaking is used to a second language for communication in some country. For the reason, ability to speak, especially in English, must be supported by good fluency in language as well. One of the skills which have a strong effect of grammar is speaking. Speaking can be used to give information, idea, opinion, and feeling to the other people. It means that by speaking, the student can communicate each others to achieve certain goals or to express their opinion, intention, hopes, and viewpoints. So grammar has an important role in that section. The research formulate the following research question as follows: Is there any correlation between English grammar competence and speaking fluency of 10th grade at Manchimahi in academic year 2018 and 2019? There are hypotheses. The first hypothesis one, there is significant correlation between grammar competence and speaking fluency. And Hanul, there is no significant correlation between grammar competence and speaking fluency. And the next chapter is literature review. According to Rickett and Storner Hans, 2008, in the F result 2012, speaking is a speech or utterance produced by the speaker with the purpose for the listener to process the intent of the speaker's speech. Bailey and L. 1994 in Lunan 2003 state that speaking is the produce of oral or oral skill. According to the Council 2001 in Artun Duaga, and the next chapter is research design. This research used a descriptive quantitative research which applies correlation research design. It was chosen because the research will present a correlation between grammar and speaking fluency, and the end wrote the conclusion based on the data gained. And the next is participants and subject. The participants in the study is the writers take student 11th grade at Manchimahi. There are 6 classes with all of students are 117. In this research, the writer took 34 subjects as a sample from population. And the next is instrument. The research used instruments such as first, interview for speaking. The writer using oral tests like interview, which consists of 5 questions and based on the topic. Second, a multiple choice. Test for grammar together information from students' grammar test consisting of 20 multiple choice. And the next is technique of data collection. The writer collected the data from grammar test by number of student correct answer, then multiple 10. Then divide 2 from speaking. The writer convert the small score of Melee and Pierce to scale of 100 as follow: 4 for 100, 3 for 75, and 2 for 50, and 1 for 25. After collecting the data, the research classified the score is the interpretation correlation score according to Siregar. There are very weak, enough, strong, and very strong. The next is data analyze and analyze the data. The writer used Spearman product of moment formula in SPSS program. So the result of the data analysis show that correlation coefficients equal 0. 259, larger than social significance value, which is 0.05. And the next chapter is result and discussion. For speaking fluency, the writer gives a student time to answer within 3 minutes. It relates the number of students as 34 people. For the table 1, a student score above the writers will find the descriptive statistic. Student score from the grammar and speaking test. This test was followed by 34 participants and each score varied greatly. Table 4, descriptive statistic. The writer found that student grammar competence was good. It's because the mean score of the student was 61.76. The student speaking fluency was poor. It is because the mean score of the student was 37.0. And next table, one sample Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. It can be concluded that the data from speaking is not normal due to less than 0.05, and the data from grammar it is not normal due less than 0.05. The conclusion of the data are not normally distributed. The writer find out the correlation between those two variables, use the Superman's product moment, and to compute the data because the data was not normal. And the next table, from the table above, the correlation between English grammar competence and speaking fluency of 11th grade student of Manchimahi in the academic year 2018 and 2019, it is 0.277, which indicated there was weak correlation between two variables. To compute the correlation, the writer prepared the computation of two variables by Spearman's product moment. There are two variables. English grammar competence is the first variable and speaking fluency is the second variable. And the next is a conclusion. The aim for this research is to find out there is any correlation between grammar competence and speaking fluency. The result of the data analysis showed that the student grammar competence was good and the student speaking fluency was poor. So, the null hypothesis is accepted. I think that's all for my presentation. Thank you very much and